Hey guys, welcome back to Retro Pop Planet, and welcome back to what's become my annual spooky Halloween video. And I pick a horror movie and I go and I try to capture some of the filming locations. Well, this year I have not one, but two. This is a double feature. Recently I traveled up to the Pittsburgh area of Pennsylvania and I went to the shooting locations for George Romero's 1968 Night of the Living Dead, which is the movie that basically revolutionized the zombie genre. Now, throughout the course of his life and career, he came out with several different movies in the franchise, and being from Pittsburgh area, he really hyped up the locales and the places that he grew up with. His follow-up was 10 years later because he didn't really want to be billed as a horror director. So his next edition in the franchise was 1978, a full 10 years later, and it is the Dawn of the Dead, which primarily takes place at Monroeville Mall, which is just right outside of Pittsburgh. Now, Night of the Living Dead was such a low budget movie that it was very limited on scale and how many different places that they filmed. There's really only 4 or 5 different actual shooting locations. You've got the Eden City Cemetery, which is right outside of Eden City, which is about 40 minutes north of Pittsburgh. You've got some field scenes, and then you've got the location from the house, which most of the movie was filmed at, either inside or around the grounds. Now, the home no longer exists. It actually was torn down shortly after the shooting of the movie. These were really great movies to film because the original movies were filmed around this same time frame. So this was a really fun adventure. And the Pittsburgh area was actually full-blown fall. The leaves had all completely changed. It was dreary, overcast, and actually kind of cold. A couple of days I was out there, it was around 40 degrees. So come along with me as we check out the filming locations for 1968's Night of the Living Dead.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Okay, it's been demolished now, but that was the site of the white farmhouse in the movie. The reason it was chosen during production is because it was actually set to be torn down anyway, so it actually was torn down following. Respecting their privacy, it's a private drive, so if you do come down here, just be cautious of that. But this is where the majority of the movie was shot. This used to be a much more substantial bridge structure, but this is where the National Guard comes across and the police. We're literally right down the road at the intersection from the farmhouse. This is Ash Stop and Kohler Road. Okay guys, welcome back. That was kind of a short video because there wasn't a lot of things to see. As I mentioned in the last clip, the house has been demolished and it is private property, so what I could get was just basically a distance shot. There are a couple other smaller locations that were filmed around, really just driving scenes, probably a lot of second camera work. There was also actually some movie magic in the cemetery. The Blair Cemetery plot is actually right next to the road. So what you see in the movie is they're looking for their parents' graves, and they're actually way off in the middle of the cemetery. But the actual orientation of the grave sites that they were filmed at is right along one of the main roads as you come in. Another thing that I learned is that when she's driving the GTO and she's trying to escape the first zombie in the movie, she immediately turns and goes down the hill. Well, the actual car crash took place in the opposite direction, coming down that way. And apparently it was a producer or George Romero's car or something like that. It had actually already been wrecked, so they just rolled it into the side of the tree and it already had the damage. So easy production dilemma solved. So the next movie we're gonna go to is 1978's Dawn of the Dead. Now this movie primarily took place at the Monroeville Mall in Monroeville, PA, which is just on the outskirts of Pittsburgh. Since the majority of the movie is filmed in the mall or around the mall proper, some of the beginning shots are actually downtown Pittsburgh, really right at the roof of George Romero's downtown offices. There is a dock scene. The dock apparently no longer exists. And the upstairs of the mall scenes are actually filmed in a warehouse space. I did not go on this particular visit. Maybe I'll catch those locations in a future trip. This was actually my first trip to Pittsburgh, so I was really unfamiliar with the area. I definitely want to go back and do a deep dive actual vacation there. So then they escape off of the roof of the radio tower and they take a helicopter and they look for gas. They land at a small airstrip. It's actually a permanently closed airstrip. And then from the airstrip, they go and they land on the roof of the mall where the rest of the movie takes place. The other thing that's really cool about the Monroeville Mall is not just the history of the mall. It was built in the 1960s, so there are a lot of areas where you can still see the original architecture. Unfortunately, most of the mall is completely changed. A lot of the stores have been rearranged, and there's actually one original mall store left. The rest of the mall is completely different. The JCPenney still exists in the mall. However, it is not in the original location. There is a Cinemark movie complex. The JCPenney's is now on another anchor, so don't get confused if you see JCPenney's pop up in some of these shots. And the gift shop and the George Romero Museum are also in the mall. I'm gonna do a separate walkthrough video because I did pay for a ticket for that, and I did go through and I took a bunch of video of that entire trip. So I'll do a separate video in the following weeks where you can actually see exactly what's in that location. It's about $8 to get in. And there's a small gift shop in the front. And the really awesome thing about the Monroeville Mall is it's actually a pop cultural legend. It's featured heavily in Stephen King's novel Christine. It's also one of the shooting locations for Zack and Miri Make a Porno, a Kevin Smith movie. In addition to having a pretty big backdrop scene in the 1984 movie Flashdance, which was a runaway hit at the box office. The skating rink closed in the mid-80s and has completely been converted, and it's actually the food court of the mall. All right, so without further ado, let's go check out the shooting locations for 1978's Dawn of the Dead. So I was actually a little disappointed to discover when I got here that the Harold Brown Airport is closed permanently. So the drive was closed and I couldn't get down it, but I saw that there was an adjacent Ryan Homes brand new development, and I drove down in there, and there's this walking trail which you see behind me, and it drops you right at the base of the runway. I don't know what's creepier, the movie or this abandoned airstrip. And we're just gonna walk down and see if we can find some of the filming locations from the movie. But check this out, this is crazy.
Looks like a shopping center, one of those big indoor malls.
intelligence. We must not be lulled by the concept they will not respond. When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I gave you a good representation of where the movie was filmed. I had a blast filming this video. I just enjoyed going up there and checking out an area of the country I've never been to before. All right guys, happy Halloween. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe. Have a safe and happy Halloween, and I'm gonna enjoy an Iron City beer. Hey, if you like this video, please go check out my Exorcist filming locations and also my Blair Witch Project filming locations.